Hey everybody, my name's Ronaldo Woffman. Today I want to talk to you about something new that I've been using that's really helped revolutionize my performance and most importantly, protect the most valuable part of my business, and that would be my ears. You see, I'm a DJ. For those of you that don't know who I am or don't watch my videos, I'm a DJ. I love doing large-scale school dances. My company, For Schools Only, that's what we focus on. Big homecomings and proms, right? And from the lighting side of things, we've always taken a lot of very special care to make sure that we practice safety, right? From making sure that we don't fall off our trussing, to making sure that our lights have safety cables, and most importantly, that our lasers are set above eye level so it doesn't hit anybody in the face. Why? Because we don't want to blind them. But as DJs, do we really take care of our ears, which ironically enough is the most important part of us? And it seems that we have these huge, big monitors blaring on us, or we have, large headphones with just music just hitting even more. So you've got the monitor, the headphone, plus the main sound system. At the end of the night, your ears are ringing, and I remember, goodness, I just turned 30 not that long ago, but even 4 years ago, I'm like, the ringing went away, it'll be fine. But one day that's gonna stop, and that ringing's gonna keep going and going and going. Now, earplugs are great, but the problem is I hate mixing with earplugs because then I really can't hear the music. So when I was at NAMM, Winter NAMM, I ran into the Ultimate Ears booth. Now, I'm a huge fan of Ultimate Ears because of their boom. I have the boom, and I just got the boom too. I'll be doing a review on that really soon. I love the sound out of it. So they said they were doing in-ear monitors that were really made for the modern performer. And I asked them, really what they meant by that, and they said they have different styles, whether you're a DJ or a producer or, a rock artist or whatever the case may be. They said, we have something for everybody. So I tested their little demo, and it was real cool because they actually did, where they scanned your ears, so that way if you decide, hey, I want to buy these headphones, you have your ear scan ready to go. Why? Because these in-ear monitors are made just for you. And I'll cover that in just a second. So anyways, I'm listening, doing the test, and I was blown away, right? I mean, I was kind of scared of using in-ear monitors for the first time, at any event. I was always like, and I really want to hear what's going on. I don't want to have to keep taking them on and off. And one of my friends has another pair, and it goes really deep into his ear. He told me it's really uncomfortable. So I was a little bit skeptical, but I listened to him. I fell in love with the sound, right? I was hearing things in music that I haven't heard before. And I told him, okay, look, it may just be your mixer you're playing out of, so they let me plug my iPhone in, and I mean, it sounded amazing. Not just music that I like to enjoy, but I'm in NAMM, right, where everything's really, really loud. I've got speaker manufacturer here, speakers all the way around. It was quiet. For the first time in that entire show, I could actually hear my thoughts. And the music came in and it sounded beautiful. And I listened to a little bit of everything, right? Andrea Bocelli, it sounded like the guy was literally singing in my ear. It was crazy. Then when it came to trap music, I could feel that low guttural bass just enter in my ear. It was crazy. I'm like, yeah, I gotta have these. So they helped me try to find, a pair of headphones, or in-ear monitors, that worked best for me. And after I listened to all of them, I settled on the 11s. I had a couple different models that I liked, but after I talked to them, the 11 Pros, I'm like, oh, I gotta have these. So they, you go to the website, and it's actually really cool because you get to customize everything. You can customize color, you can customize, if you want like a different logo and all that put in there. There's so many cool things that you can put. But the most important part is that these are customized specifically for your ears. And a couple weeks later, they arrived. First of all, they come in this gorgeous little box, right? And in the box, I have a wax cleaner tool because these are going really deep in your ear. So you don't want your ear wax just kind of sitting in there. And it's just a nice little box. It has your name engraved on it. So you have a couple of choices on the cables. And I'll be honest with you, when I first felt the cable, I'm like, man, this cable feels really flimsy. It was like very thin. It felt like something was gonna get tangled in my pocket. It hasn't gotten tangled yet, which is amazing. This might be the first cable that hasn't gotten tangled. But it feels flimsy because you're not supposed to feel the cable. And I'll cover that when I talk about the experience with these in a second. But basically, it's strong. No matter how hard I've pulled on it, and I've yanked this. I got the short cable. You have two options. You can get the long cable, you can get the short cable. I got the short cable because I'm gonna use these wirelessly. And no matter how many times I yanked on it, because there's a couple of times I didn't have my wireless kits, I just plugged it straight to my mixer, and I would move and bam, the whole thing would, just move with me. These have not gotten torn yet. I've had my cats chew on them because my cats are just the devil, and it's been great. So first of all, let's talk about the actual in-ear monitor itself. Now, Ultimate Ears really went all out. And on the 11 Pros, which is the model that I'm using, if you look here, there's basically two separate armatures, which are your drivers for the low frequencies, which is separated from the high frequency driver. I actually got the translucent one because I'm a techie, correct? I like to be able to see what they look like. So it was actually really cool that I could see the individual canals or tunnels where I could actually look where the sound was going through. And I mean, it's beautifully and precision made. They're very small, they're very lightweight. And the first thing that I worried about is, okay, well, eventually I'm going to break these things off the cables. I mean, I don't care how good a cable is. I'm a DJ. I'm gonna break it at some point. So what Ultimate Ears did is they made this cable that is detachable. Okay? Real nice detachable cable. And on the website, they have different options for cables. Like I said, you've got the longer cable, there's a cable with a microphone, there's quite a few different options in there. Looking on the other side where the cable comes in, you're gonna see a little hole. Now, when you order your Ultimate Ears, right, the in-ear monitors, you're gonna have an option of basically having it, what they call, I guess, a ambient noise, right? And that's if you're on a stage, you wanna hear a little bit of what's going on the outside. Because right out of the box, these things are negative 26 decibels. I mean, that's a lot of sound that's getting blocked out, needless to say. But again, I'm a DJ. I want to hear a little bit of what's going on. If I'm interacting with the audience, I want to hear the audience without having to take them off every single time. And having that little hole drilled, it says you lose a little bit of the low resonance, but it still sounds really good. And you can buy the little plugs to plug right back in. So this way, if I'm on an airplane or if I'm working on editing something, I don't hear the ambient noise. This is great on an airplane. Look, for those of you guys that don't travel enough to understand how annoying babies can be on a red-eye flight, this right here, that alone was worth the cost. Okay, so we've got everything unpacked, right? You've got your cables, everything put together the way it should. You'll see here, one of them's in red, one of them's in black. The red is your right ear. And if you forget that, just remember R and R, okay? They actually designed this so you wear the cable behind your ear, or behind your back, excuse me, and you'll see how this little cable just is made to go right inside your ear, right there. So all you gotta do is just kind of twist it. Right there, there's one side. I'm gonna go here. Now the first time you do this, it'll kind of take you a second to really get used to it. Right there. Oh man, this is great. And I don't hear anything. You know, what's amazing is that with other, earphones or anything like goes in my ear, after a while I feel it and I get ear fatigue and they just annoy me or they get me all rashy. These I've worn for hours straight. We're talking, anywhere from 4 to 8 hours straight. No problem. They don't get worn out. My ears don't hurt or anything like that. Sometimes I even forget they're in there. And that's wonderful. I really like that because I can mix more naturally. I don't have to worry about, mixing like this and having a pain in my neck after a while. I don't have to worry about keep adjusting them. I'm not Steve Aoki. I'm not throwing cake out in the middle of the crowd, but I move around a lot when I'm DJing. I'm interacting with the crowd. I'm spinning, whatever the case may be, right? Not like literally spinning, but good spinning. And they don't fall out. They don't move. And the reason of that is because they're custom made for my ears. The other bonus for that is DJs, we hate sharing headphones. And really, who doesn't? That's so unsanitary. But somebody will still find a way, I'll promise I'll clean them, and they pressure you. In this case, I can say, sorry man, not gonna fit your ear, not unless we swap ears too. You can't use them. So that's a really nice plus. Okay, so remember what I said about this cable, how it feels like really flimsy? It's not flimsy at all. And again, the more I use it, the more I see that. But I just have the cable back over here. I just tuck it through my belt loop right there. And then I plug it into my, I have this little body pack that I use so I can have my wireless in-ear monitor. So I'm not tied to my mixer at all. And that's wonderful. That's an even bigger plus. But I don't feel it at all. It doesn't, it doesn't look ugly and out of sight. I also do a lot of weddings or corporate events, and I don't want cables. I don't want to look like a cyborg, and this certainly prevents that from happening. Okay, so I've talked about the sound, right? How does it sound as far as listening to it? And I'm really impressed enough that, yes, I wanted to pay it right then and there. But listening to it in a nice, quiet environment, in an airplane, at home, is a lot different than listening to it and an event. And as somebody that's always used a big traditional DJ style, studio style headphones, never would even consider going into an IEM system, I gotta tell you, I'm in love and I can't go back. So first of all, as far as the experience, it's surreal because it's loud, it's, you know, boomy, it's people screaming. And at first I thought, okay, I need that in mix, right? I really want to be able to hear what's out there, because just because it sounds good on my headphones doesn't necessarily mean it'll sound good out, you know, with whether people are singing along or the acoustics, or so I thought. And when I put these on, first of all, my mixing got a lot tighter, because when I'm mixing with my headphones, I'm still hearing what's out there. But if those speakers are far out from me, obviously there's a little bit of a delay and it doesn't sound quite right. So that's why I kept feeling that I just couldn't get my mixes right. So I put both of these on and boom, I'm in my own, like in my own room, in my own area. And yes, I see the crowd and I feel the rush of people dancing and screaming along with the music, but I can focus. And I know, okay, this sounds good in here, bam, it sounds good there. The most important part are really mastering my levels. And at first it took a little bit of getting used to, because I'm not used to mixing with in-ear monitors, but it really made a world of a difference, right? Because you're mixing a song, you get a new remix in, you want to play that remix, you're not 100%, like you know the song, but you're not 100% familiar with how that producer may have played around with the levels. All of a sudden, bam, that song comes in really hot. And you know, even though you check your meters ahead of time, it's like, oh no, it didn't sound quite right. Mixing it in, the song came in a lot louder. I'm not hearing people screaming at me or, you know, screaming with me or music or any of the background noise. No, I'm hearing just those songs that I'm gonna mix. And as the next one comes in, oh, it's a little bit too loud, bam. I just change it out. So when it's time to actually crossfade it in or mix it in, whatever, you know, it is, it sounds right. It sounds right the first time. And I know it's flawless because it sounded flawless in my head while I was mixing it. The other important part, and the surreal part, is at the end of the event, my ears don't hurt, you know? And yeah, there were times I didn't get the ringing because I would put the speakers in front of me, I'd be behind the speakers, not have a monitor. But there was no ear fatigue at all, you know? And this is something DJs are all guilty of. You know, if you're a sound person or if you run concerts or productions, you know the phrase, they're not headlining if they're not redlining, or they're not headlining because they're not redlining. There's multiple things, right? The point is, DJs suck when it comes to setting levels. Why? Because we're back there and we don't hear the volume out there, so we crank it up even more, crank it up even more, crank it up even more. We get ear fatigue, so we crank it up even more. We're killing our audience and we don't even realize it. Or if there's a sound guy over, you know, keeping us in check, we're killing the sound guy, and it doesn't sound good because we're just pushing pure distortion to the poor sound guy. This has really helped me a lot, especially, you know, at weddings. I thought it was gonna be difficult at weddings because I always get people, hey, can I make a request? Can I make a request? And I'm like, oh, this is really gonna suck. So I just had one monitor on, and that really worked out nicely, especially when I'm doing a bridal show and I want to, you know, people talking to me, hey, can you announce this? Can you announce that? So I just keep one on. But once the dance portion started of the wedding or the bridal show, you know, when it's time to do the fashion show or a corporate event, you know, the awards are over, now it's time to actually dance, I put both on and just bam, I'm in my own world, but I can still see with the crowd, I can interact with the crowd. And again, it made my mixing a lot tighter because you know, when I mix, I only have one pair of, or even though I have both headphones on, I don't put them on. I usually wear them upside down. People, you know, poke fun of me about it because I like to have it upside down, but whatever. And now I can take them on and off easily, right? But then I'm mixing like this, and I'm not really able to pay attention to the crowd. It almost looks like I'm just staring at my laptop or just the turntables the whole time. I'm telling you, I cannot say enough good things about the way that these have really helped me mix, perform, most importantly, save my ears. I absolutely love them. So as far as any pros and cons, if you've never used in-ear monitors before, I've told you all the pros. The cons. The first couple of times that you get used to it, you start using them, it's gonna be surreal. You're gonna be like, whoa. And they're like, wait a second, am I playing any music? I can't hear any music. Am I playing music? You take them off, oh yeah, I'm definitely playing music. So that's why I like having that little hole drilled in there, because I can mute it down on my end. Okay, I can hear the music, great, I crank it right back up. So we're good to go there. Because of that, again, that's a surreal experience. I don't wanna call it a con, but you're gonna get used to it. It's gonna take you maybe 2 or 3 events to really get used to it. If you work solo, I know a lot of you may be mobile DJs or you're club DJs and you're on your own and you don't have somebody to tell you, hey, you need to turn up the master volume. You should always have somebody, anyways, if you're working club, that's gonna handle that part. But if not, just take them on or off. As far as taking them off, after you do it a couple of times, it's easy. I got them on, done. Also, run some requests? Yeah, how can I help you? Okay, sure. You want the electric side? No problem. Easy. On, off. You get used to it. No worries. Here's the thing. There's tons of in-ear monitors, okay? And I've heard a lot of them. We all know the major brands. But Ultimate Ear surprised me for 3 reasons. 1, they sound great. 2, lots of customization. Not just, okay, look, I don't care what the heck they look like, all right? I just want it all clear because I think it's cool, right? To me, the most important part is that I could choose the sound that I like, that if I wanted a little bit of, if I didn't want a full negative 26 decibel decrease, that I can have a hole drilled in there and then I can plug it up later if I need to. That is probably the only thing that I have to mention. And these are fairly cheap, so buy multiple plugs. About, the pack comes with 4 of them, and it's a tiny, these little plastic pieces. Yeah, that's not it. It's that tiny, tiny little thing. You will lose one. I lost one already. So make sure you have a couple extras if that's something that's really important to you. But again, the customization part was worth it. And most importantly is these are made for your ear. But if you look, it's not a huge ear canal that goes deep into your ear and it just feels weird. I don't want to get anxiety. That was honestly my biggest worry because I've seen some of these custom in-ear monitors and it's like boom, right in your ear. I'm like, that thing is gonna touch my brain. No, thank you. My eardrum erupted when I was younger, and I don't like things touching anywhere deep in my ear. No, that's why I hate it. I hated going to the ear doctor when I was a kid. He's like, oh, well, let's look in there. No, I'd rather you not. But these are really comfortable. I'm telling you, when you look at the price tags, there are prices, from entry-level budget to the high end. And some of you may say, whoa, Ronaldo, that's a lot of money for in-ear monitors. Is it? Because replacing your eardrums, at least at the time of this video, not really possible, not really cheap. And these are still cheaper than a pair of hearing aids when you lose your hearing from non-stop DJing or loud volumes or whatever you're doing. I don't care if you're a DJ, if you're a sound guy, if you're a music producer, these are it right here. Ultimate Ears in-ear monitors. I'm using the Pro 11s. They're great. And you're talking from a company that provides stellar customer support, that is there to answer your questions. And I can tell you, at NAMM, I had tons and tons of questions. When I approach a company in NAMM, I don't tell them, hey, I do reviews, because I don't want them to treat, me like a reviewer, whatever. I want to see how they treat the average customer. And they answered all of my questions. These people are not just dedicated, they're passionate. They're passionate about good sound, about giving you a product that is well worth its price. That is the Ultimate Ears. These are the Pro 11s. A lot of great series. You gotta check out the website. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. My name's Ronaldo Wafferman. If you liked the video, if you want to see more like it, please like, subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and share with your friends. Any questions, comments, anything I can answer for you, send me a message, or again, leave a comment down below. Thank you so much for watching. Good night, and God bless.